AU in Nashville. Then people can go overseas too, but this is a whole new one. And this one offers a lot of money. And that's why people are like moving towards this.
And this is also different than Unrivaled.
Completely different.
So how many like floating leagues are there? 3?
I would
2?
say that like a lot of the American players are doing, or I would say the majority is 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think there's going to be a lot of people switching over.
That's cool.
What happened when Indiana Fever guard Sophie Cunningham tried to recruit her superstar teammate Caitlin-Clark to join a brand new basketball league offering millions of dollars in salary, and Clark turned her down flat with a single word, no. December 4th, 2025 was the day Cunningham revealed on her podcast that she had personally approached Clark about joining Project B, a new global women's basketball league set to launch in November 2026. Starting salaries sit at $2 million annually, which dwarfs the WNBA's roughly $250,000 supermax, and yet Clark wanted no part of it. Her reasons tell us a lot about where women's professional basketball stands today and where it might be heading. Before we get into what happened between these two teammates, let's talk about what Project B actually is. Because if you haven't heard of it yet, you will soon. Project B operates as what they're calling an F1-style traveling tournament circuit, which means it functions like Formula One racing but for basketball. 6 teams of 11 players each will compete across 7 two-week tournaments held in Asia, Europe, and the Americas, with the season running from November through April. That timing was deliberate, designed specifically so it doesn't conflict with the WNBA season.
That Sophie joined Project B, and she gives a little insight on that. Well, while giving insight on it, she seems to confirm, whether she means to or not, that Caitlin-Clark will not be playing in this league because Sophie tried to get her to play in this league.
2 college roommates built this league together. Grady Burnett spent years as an executive at Google and Facebook, while Jeff Prentice co-founded Skype. Running basketball operations is Alana Beard, a 4-time WNBA All-Star during her playing days who now serves as Chief Basketball Officer. And here's where the money gets interesting. $2 million per year is the starting salary, with multi-year deals potentially reaching 8 figures. Compare that to the WNBA Supermax of around $250,000, and you're looking at 8 times more money at minimum. Some serious names have backed this venture, including tennis champion Novak Djokovic, NFL Hall of Famer Steve Young, and WNBA legend Candace Parker. By December 2025, 11 WNBA players had already signed, among them 10-time All-Star Nneka Ogwumike, 2021 MVP Jonquel Jones, and 6-time All-Star Alyssa Thomas. Sophie Elizabeth Cunningham entered the world on August 16, 1996 in Columbia, Missouri, and she grew up to become the University of Missouri's all-time leading scorer with 2,187 points. 3 first-team All-SEC selections followed, and then the Phoenix Mercury drafted her 13th overall in 2019.
How all of us Caitlin-Clark fans was disappointed that we barely even got to see the woman play last season. We waited all off season, had to get through the 3-on-3 unrivaled, whatever, just to get to the season, and she only plays 13 games. We're being told every day that she's day-to-day for months and months on end, all the way until there's only the last week of the season. Is 2 games left, and they say she's done for the year. Dragged us along all season. So here it says her WNBA salary at $119,000 barely registers.
6 seasons in Phoenix came to an end on January 31st, 2025, when she was traded to the Indiana Fever. A WNBA record belongs to Cunningham that you might not expect. 17 consecutive games with at least 2 3-pointers made, more than any other player in league history. Her background includes some surprises too. A black belt in Taekwondo at age 6, with her parents serving as her instructors. High school saw her kick field goals for the football team when their kicker got injured, and she went 2 for 4. Cunningham co-hosts a podcast called Show Me Something with West Wilson, distributed through iHeart Podcasts. And that podcast became the setting for her December 4th, 2025 revelation about Caitlin-Clark. These two aren't just teammates on a roster sheet. A genuine friendship has developed since Cunningham arrived in Indiana. Fans have given Cunningham a particular title when it comes to her younger teammate. Enforcer is one word they use. Bodyguard is another. That reputation solidified on June 17, 2025, during a game against the Connecticut Sun, when an opponent poked Clark in the eye and Cunningham physically confronted the player, throwing her to the ground. Oh, flagrant foul. $2 and a $400 fine followed. But the moment went viral, and many fans appreciated her protective instincts.
So, like, here's my thing. So all these leagues are great, but at the end of the day, like, if you don't have the W, you don't have the platform.
Right.
So you don't have the eyes, you don't have the recognition.
That's right, Caitlin Clark.
No, yeah.
You have the W.
Yeah. I tried to get her to, like, play in this one. She's like, no.
I saw Kelsey Mitchell's playing.
Yeah, which I'm super excited about.
Yeah.
Super excited to play with Kels. Or I don't know if I'll play with her, but we'll be in the same league.
Their bond extends beyond the court as well. This past November, Cunningham caddied for Clark at the LPGA's ANNIKA Pro-Am golf tournament. When asked about Clark's personality, Cunningham put it this way: "Man, she's a piece. Everyone thinks I'm the feisty, sassy one. Absolutely not." That closeness explains why Cunningham tried to bring her teammate along after signing with Project B on November 25, 2025. For those less familiar with Caitlin Clark, she has become the biggest name in women's basketball and one of the biggest names in all of sports. Des Moines, Iowa is where Caitlin Elizabeth Clark was born on January 22, 2002. At the University of Iowa, records didn't just break for her, they shattered. Her 3,951 points made her the NCAA Division Whitemont all-time leading scorer, surpassing a mark held by Pete Maravich that had stood for over 50 years. First overall in the 2024 WNBA draft went to Clark, selected by the Indiana Fever.
$20 million. Let's get into the article. The nearly $20 million rejection by Caitlin Clark has the WNBA buzzing. Here it says, Caitlin Clark is the lone basketball player on Sportico's latest ranking of the highest paid female athlete. She has climbed into the number 6 spot with an estimated $16.1 million in total earnings, a number that came despite an injury-shortened campaign that only lasted 13 games. Now, y'all know how all of us Caitlin Clark fans was disappointed that we barely even got to see the woman play.
Her rookie season brought WNBA Rookie of the Year honors, along with all WNBA first-team selection, and she set the league's single-season assist record with 337 assists. But here's the detail that matters most for understanding why she turned down Project B. Clark earns far more money off the court than on it. Sportico reported approximately $16.1 million in endorsement earnings between 2024 and 2025. Nike signed her to an 8-year, $28 million deal. Her actual WNBA salary under the rookie scale sits somewhere between $76,000 and $84,000 annually. When you hear about a $2 million Project B salary, keep in mind that it amounts to less than what Clark already pulls in from her sponsors. November 25, 2025 marked the day Cunningham signed with Project B, and that's when she approached Clark about joining the new league. Her podcast episode released December 4th contained the reveal, right around the 3-minute 20-second mark. Cunningham's words were direct. "I tried to get her to play in this league, and she was like, no." An exaggerated impression of Clark's voice accompanied the quote.
She turned that down. We know Project B came with a eye-dropping crazy number. We know they came with a crazy bag, and she has turned it down left and right. And we can't even forget that Ice Cube came with a bag. So she's been turning down leagues left and right since before she even played a game in her rookie season. Here it says, Caitlin doesn't have the financial need to play in any other league. She's making so much money off the court and endorsements. Robin Lundberg summed it up. Salute to Robin Lundberg.
Which suggested the rejection came fast and emphatic. Money drives the appeal, according to Cunningham. This league offers a lot of money. And that's why people are like moving towards this. And yet she acknowledged something about the WNBA's value that cuts the other direction. Here's the thing. All these leagues are great, but if you don't have the W, you don't have the platform. So you don't have the eyes, you don't have the recognition. That last point may explain Clark's lack of interest. Her enormous endorsement deals depend on her visibility as a WNBA star, and a traveling league playing tournaments overseas, however well compensated, doesn't offer the same platform. Clark herself hasn't made any public statements specifically about Project B. Several factors likely drove her decision. Start with the money math. $16 million annually already flows to Clark from endorsements, which means a $2 million salary from Project B barely moves the needle for someone in her position. Some reports suggested she received an offer somewhere near $50 million, but that figure remains unverified and no official source has confirmed it. Her Nike contract reportedly requires WNBA participation, and playing in an alternative league could complicate that relationship. Health concerns played a role too. Only 13 games for Clark during the 2025 WNBA season due to groin and ankle problems. In a November interview, her words were clear. Her main focus during the offseason is really just getting my body healthy. USA basketball commitments filled her calendar as well, with a training camp scheduled for December 12th through 14th, 2025. A pattern emerges when you look at her other decisions. Unrivaled, another new women's basketball league received a no from Clark. Ice Cube's Big Three League got the same answer. Project B simply became the latest venture she turned down. Cunningham's revelation drew some criticism her way. Using Clark's name for personal publicity was the accusation from some fans. One Instagram user wrote, "Sophie Cunningham, stop talking about CC Challenge, impossible." Cunningham fired back with her own response. "People stop asking/talking to me about her. Impossible." More substantive criticism came from those worried about labor negotiations, since the WNBA Players Union is currently negotiating a new collective bargaining agreement. Cunningham revealing Clark's decision to stay with the WNBA rather than pursue higher-paying alternatives, some fans and observers argued, handed the league's owners leverage at the bargaining table. One commenter framed it bluntly, "Sophie talks too much. She just gave the owners leverage in their CBA battle." The concern centers on incentives. If owners know stars like Clark won't leave for better money elsewhere, raising WNBA salaries dramatically becomes less urgent for them. Project B itself has faced controversy over funding questions tied to Saudi Arabia. The Financial Times reported in February 2025 that the league had backing from Saudi Arabia's sovereign wealth fund. Co-founder Grady Burnett denied receiving direct funding from them. A company called Sela, owned by Saudi Arabia's public investment fund, is listed as an event partner for the league, and Burnett described Sela as a wholly owned subsidiary based in London that has handled events globally. Whether direct funding differs meaningfully from event partnership remains a point of debate. December 2025 finds Project B with 11 confirmed WNBA players, 2 of them from the Indiana Fever in Cunningham and fellow guard Kelsey Mitchell. November 2026 remains the target for the league's debut, with 7 two-week tournaments planned across Europe, Asia, and the Americas. Clark is recovering from her injuries and preparing for USA basketball commitments. No off-season league has captured her interest, not just Project B. Cunningham tore her MCL in August 2025 and continues her own recovery. Unrestricted free agency awaits once the new collective bargaining agreement arrives. Running it back with the Fever and Clark in 2026 is what she has expressed hope for. An interesting detail about Cunningham's own decision. Project B recruited her, and she turned them down twice before eventually signing. Learning about benefits like access to top medical treatment and charter flights changed her thinking. She framed it as, "a good time for me to expand my brand globally." What does this story reveal about women's basketball right now? New leagues with serious money are emerging and trying to lure talent away from the WNBA with salaries that dwarf current earnings. 11 WNBA players have already signed with Project B, and that number may climb. But money isn't everything, and Caitlin Clark's decision proves it. She turned down what could have been a significant payday because she understands something about how her value works. Being visible in the WNBA is where the eyes are, where the recognition lives, and where the endorsement dollars flow from. Sophie Cunningham tried to recruit her teammate and friend. Clark responded with one word, immediately and emphatically. That single-word answer may reveal more about women's professional basketball than any salary figure could. The WNBA still owns the platform. Whether it can keep the players who make that platform worth watching is the question going forward. Thanks for watching. If you found this video informative, consider subscribing for more stories from the world of sports.